All right, everybody, let's get ready. Happy versus Dise. First time on this new patch 1.361, and maybe the first real check for an undead here in the new matchup. Dise actually got some maps recently and close matches. Happy also lost 2 maps to Lawlight before the changes came into effect. So I'm super curious what Happy's approach to this patch is.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 2 things you immediately would think is that in isolation under Expo, even with the nerve change, I don't think it affects, especially in this matchup, I don't think it affects anything because if you try to cancel Expo, it's usually with a DH and 1 archer, maybe 2. So the juggling doesn't matter that much and the slow effect is still as strong. It does a tiny bit less damage to the DH, but I don't think that's like super important. So maybe, and also the fact that you can Nerub Tower, move some ghouls into the DH, get him to turn on Immolation. It's going Warden though, so let's do that for another time. But I think like fast expo play might be stronger now for Undead again. So if Happy leans anything into that. The other thing is, of course, if Dise goes Warden instead of DH.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah. So with a slightly weaker Demon Hunter, going Warden. Warden was strong already in the past couple of weeks. Now, with the buffed Fan of Knives, as you said, especially against the style that Happy plays recently with a lot of Gargs, that should help big time. As usually there was always...
Super clean by Dise, by the way. I don't know if you saw it, but when he was creeping, he tried to do the Echo pull with the creeps, but he blocked with the Archer and the AoE, so the creeps basically didn't move, and he could do damage the whole time. That was very clean by Mr. Dise.
So that's a problem if Happy wants to expand, has to rebuild the Acolyte then. But seems like that is not the plan.
No, I think Happy usually doesn't want to early expand against Warden. I mean, he's always been more of a, if he can, he prefers, I would be my intuition that he prefers sharp timings. And I think he, like, going into very super late game with Warden can get very wonky. Of course, he has the option then to go into Mass Gargs, but Mass Gargs is now probably a bit weaker, or substantially weaker maybe even, with this Warden. So I'm not surprised he goes back to like his trusted, if he goes back into his trusted sharp tier 3 timing attack, which is like his main bread and butter over the ages.
But shouldn't Fan of Knives also be better against the Frenzy timing push?
Slightly, yeah, but I mean, I feel like Happy... He has a very good way of getting, like, he has 4 ghouls in front attacking. Maybe he is better at, like, not making sure that every 7 ghouls are, like, close in connection. So if you split them out, it doesn't do more damage to each target, right? So as long as there's not enough targets in range. And given how fast ghouls are, it's a bit more easy to pull off with Undead with Aura than it would be, for instance, with a human with Footmen, because they are slower and a bit more clumpy by nature. Same with Rifles, which also are pretty slow in movement.
Okay, no Circlet for Dise earlier. Ring of Superiority drop table hasn't changed. Narrow Tower still a thing. Happy doesn't value them as useless or whatever. Still builds them good against Warden anyway. And more parallel creeping plus more mobility. Good setup so far for both players. We're in for a good game.
Yeah. I guess like situations like this, I wonder with the new Warden if it's a bit more viable to be a bit more aggressive and try to stop creeping, because he would basically would hit all targets here, right?
Yeah.
Compared to this fight.
Yeah, including.
But then again, not getting level 3 would be like a death sentence, so it's of course not obvious. Yeah, it's gonna be level 3 on both. Very creepy game so far. Not,
creepy?
As in creeping based game.
Yeah, I gotcha. Unit composition should unfold soon. Dice's tech is a little faster. Level 3 unfold or is ready now. Regen potion, nice. Happy is gonna get wards, which is also nice.
Extra Necro away on the way for Happy, so he's ready for tier 3 timing. But
Dise looks confident.
Yeah. I I guess he will now jump in and try to do some damage to the ghouls. I mean, there's a substantial amount of damage ghouls now. I think one thing also that might be a bit under-communicated with hitting more targets is the damage output, but also you could never properly control which targets the fan actually hit, right? So, like, if ghouls were pretty close to each other, you might want it to hit the lower ones than the higher ones. Since it now hits more targets, it's also better odds for hitting the low ones if they're, like, stuck together.
Steph! Ui, Coil was just a second away. Holy moly, 25 euros by Roy. You two cast pretty great together. I always knew it, Dondo. You're the latest addition now that Carson is on tour all the time. And you have nothing else to do anyway. There we go, B2W Dondo.
Oh, well, I have to check with my girlfriend first.
I can replace her, no problem.
I'll let her know.
Greetings! I mean, if you're in the gym voice channel or by my side on the stream,
that's true.
What's the difference, really?
Well, one is obviously a lot more degenerate than the other, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we won't tell people what that is. You gotta figure that out yourself.
No, follow Jim, it's a nice community.
Yeah.
All people are normal. Don't worry about it.
Every single one, especially AKM. Who's the pillar, of course. Oh, no TP.
Oh.
Fan. Oh!
It's gonna get potion. That was super close.
There's also a big potion here for Dise, but now as Lich is out, that is a TP. Dodges the coil. 6 save by Happy.
Again, Dise also, I don't know if, I mean, Dise probably hadn't skilled at that point, Blink or Shadow, before he saw that opportunity. So now he doesn't have Blink for the engagement when the frenzy timing hits.
Yeah. I think he skilled Shadow Strike before, actually.
Okay, maybe. Still a weakness though. Again, the Greater Heal is super good for him in that case.
Yeah.
Because then it at least gives him 1 out of jail card.
Double claw on Dise. That's pretty good actually if you go for Acolytes later, maybe. Nothing too spectacular on Happy yet.
No, this is like, and I think the chances of Dise getting level 5 here before or like during the push is pretty good at the moment. He has close to half level 5. Like in a if everything lined up, he would get this big creep before the push hits. But of course, Happy is like that. Always at that perfect timing. Because like if this camp was done by Dise, it would be level 5 close, right? Or level 5. And the game would just be completely different.
Nice interception here. Frenzy is ready in a bit. Warden hurt. Spamming this Fan of Knives gonna be tricky because there's not much mana anymore. Fairy Fire also didn't hurt. And so far, that Fan of Knives doesn't completely stop the ghoul push, but Happy knows, of course, that this item is still up for grabs. Turns around, gets it with ease. Ring of the Archmagi.
Very good, actually, I would say, in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, that Lich is, he got the circlet, he got the ring, the double ring. It's just that's some sick stats on the Lich.
It doesn't have a pick though, which is rusty pick. We need that.
We need it.
Destro timing just finished for Happy.
Yep.
So, I mean, it really hurt Dise that he had to throw like 2 spells without actually killing anything, right? He just had to chase Happy off. And that will follow him because now he needs mana pots, he needs clarities that he wouldn't need otherwise.
Hard to get back up to 50. There's no wind up yet. There's no anti-air except the Warden and the right clicks. A little bit of Dryads, I guess, but that doesn't really matter.
It was super bad. This is a very difficult position for Dise as well in the corner here. Like his bears always want to run to the through the fastest possible positions. They want to run to the corner. Nice with AoEs now though, blocking in front. He did that against Leon as well now. I noticed that he pushes AoEs, double AoEs back into main base for the push.
Yeah, I mean, for Warden creeping, always great. And then aesthetic defense, or semi-aesthetic, I guess, as a tree. It's also pretty good. will always lead to a little bit of a late attack in comparison, but as we saw, it's pretty much worth it. And so far, Warden is able to defend this.
Yeah, though that was now counter nuke. Oh, race for the in-wall. Happy got it.
Ooh, has to use it right away. Counter nuke. Can the Lich follow? Not just yet. And now the Lich is in jeopardy as well. That fan was weird.
Yeah, I guess a bit of a desperation attempt. They can't properly run in. Oh, okay, we're dead.
I guess it doesn't matter what the version is. The score will always be Happy won. Dise.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can't imagine a perfect world where Dise somehow has time to do that one creep camp where Happy intercepted him, so he has level 5 when the push hits, and then maybe everything is different.
Yeah. The game name is 2-2 now, by the way.
But of course, it's not easy to find where that, like, where he could buy that space, basically.
Okay. Did you get in?
I'm in.
Good. Check that. Alrighty. Springtime didn't really work. Will we see a more successful Warden on Last Refuge? Or is it going to be something entirely different? And we see the nerfed Demon Hunter against Happy here now.
Yeah, I wonder what Dice's impression of that game was, because it must have been a bit demoralizing in the fact that the Warden's main impact in the fight was not against the ghouls, but getting the DK low.
Yeah.
So the Phantom Knives actually didn't do much in that battle. It was more that he almost got DK kill. And I think that's a trend we've seen recently, or like for a while now, that if Undead has a weakness in this matchup, it's that the DK can get targeted. And that's also something Happy is like, he was known for never losing his DK. It was more like a 120 thing. But these days I feel like he does lose it more often, probably because he feels he has to be a bit more risky with it as well, because you don't want to keep it like all the way back. So I'm not sure the Warden, I mean, Warden will help with the Shadow Strike, but maybe the Phantom Knives can't help that much if it's all about targeting DK anyways.
Yeah, that seemed a little optimized. Also, like, diving into the main, not doing much damage there, not harassing during the creep when there was maybe an opportunity. I think Dise can play this better and cleaner, and he is indeed playing a Warden on LR.
Yeah. I think the question is when that push hits, if he got level 5, would he skill Shadow Strike or Phantom Knives? Because with Shadow Strike level 3, that DK would be... I mean, of course the battle will be different, but the DK can die super fast if you have that level 3 strike there.
Yeah.
And if the DK is dead, I guess, I mean, even level 2 fan will do a lot of stuff.
It's also 1,000 damage on the Fog, though. It's pretty good on level 3.
That is true. It's more than 1,000 damage. It's,
yeah. It's not that much more, right? You're one of these guys. Actually, Neo, it's 1,001.5.
Actually, now, if Lowlight is correct, it is 1,000 damage. It's just that it's then... Because then it's 6.4 targets. We initially thought it hit 7 targets, so it's more damage then. So no, I actually myself there. I am not the greatest moment in my career.
In your young caster career, that's good that you're not perfect in everything, Don.
I get humbled already. Also, map we don't see Warden often, so it's kind of hard for me to know like what's the usual Warden creep out here. I guess you go into Merc later, but you can't do that now. So you do shop, but Happy's gonna scout it, and I think it's hard to get that shop creep without being left alone.
We have to use this time because, oh my, we're getting gift subs. And of course, if there's gift subs, one person is always involved, and that is Buttcrumbs. Thank you very much for the 10. And also, following this up pretty much immediately is Pardelia, also with the 10 gifted subs. This is a good night indeed.
Good night indeed. So how many of those subs are going to me, Neo?
0, you're from Norway, dude. You got that oil fund. You don't need any money.
That's true. I'm not gonna complain.
You got my company, dude. You should pay me.
I do.
Yeah, true. True. Sub, Patreon, everything else. Yeah, that's right. Still didn't get your apartment yet, though. It's a shame.
Sorry, I couldn't provide.
Not yet. We'll see what we can do at Raraland.
Fair enough. We'll probably get some drinks at least.
Oh yeah, and one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden your apartment is mine.
You own my apartment.
Yeah.
That's a lot dramatic.
Crazy things happen at Raraland, dude. I wouldn't be too surprised.
He did get the time to get the shop repair, but not for level 3, it's for level 2, so... He's already a bit behind schedule compared to springtime, if I remember like the timings correctly. I felt like that warden was a lot closer to level 3 at this point, or I think he was level 3. Also a pretty rough camp where everything is bloodlusted, so yeah, takes a bit more damage, everything goes a bit slower.
But he gets the happy item, the big mana potion.
Great mana.
That helps.
It helps, but did Happy steal that? I think he did, right? With the Skelly.
Happy Skull, indeed, the Ogre Warrior. Oof! Yeah, delay on level 3 even further.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be level 3, so I guess it's not that dramatic, but still, I mean, it's very happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, we have a little bit of a break and people are asking, does the PTR mode work
this
with...
can be 3 dead ghouls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's wait a second. Boom, there's one. That with the claw. Oh, there was a claw. He sold it, actually. Okay, level 3 acquired. That's, you know, who needs creeping? If you can just feed off of your opponent.
I think this was pretty decent or good for Dise because he has a greater mana. Otherwise, I think maybe even like with 2 kills, though, that mana usage is maybe a bit too rich.
Yeah.
For like what it actually accomplishes. But given that he has the greater mana, I think it's good. Because in general, I would say healing is more important even for the Warden or the push. But now he actually can use the greater mana. Even like he can even theoretically preemptively use it if he needs to for more moon juice and stuff. So it's good.
I like it as well. The second hero won't change despite the slower movement speed. Lich again. Question in chat, how to play this on War3 Champions? Yes, it is actually supported on War3 Champions. You host a game like you usually would with create lobby, and then you search for the maps with the name PTR balance. And then the PTR balance is applied to the War3 Champions maps, and you have a good experience. Unless your opponent finds a mining pickaxe, then not.
Indeed. Happy sold both his rings.
Huh.
So he really I mean, guess he's confident in keeping his DK alive, and also he felt he needed the resources, obviously, but
yeah,
I don't know, I feel like that's I mean, Happy sells so many items, so it must mean, I think everything is about getting like timing at the right order. He needs now to replace a ghoul or 2, maybe it feels like, during the push, because he lost 2. But that DK is going to be very vulnerable now. It's 0 items, basically. He has a health stone, of course, so he will get health back, but it's only a 3 armor level 3 DK, which in this current meta feels weird to say.
Coil cooldown was off by the second as the staff went off. Little bit of harass, didn't accomplish anything really, was greeted with Coil Nova, strong as ever, of course. And then the Warden is gone, has to use more Moonwells, now it's daytime, so not too much recovery there anymore.
I feel like Dise just has actually been a bit unlucky with some of his harassment timings. Like, he read Happy's creep part correctly. He just, like, if it was 2 seconds later, that creep would have begun already. So it'd be harder for Happy to just focus down the Warden. But since like it was about to initiate, he had like the perfect opportunity to just get the Warden out before any units took damage, etc. Or stole some creeps. Okay.
One more ghoul down. That should be number 2, but again, oh, no deny. Happy washed.
Does he have Blink?
No. Shadow Strike and Fan. Again. It's kind of odd.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is removes you from survivability, but I guess again a horrible creep jack just when it hits level 5. This is like this is very deja vu, like extremely deja vu. Dise is down to 25 food. He is also he had 1200 gold at the point there, so he did miss macro quite a bit. Like, even, of course, he waited for tech and stuff. I don't think 1200 gold is on purpose.
Not when you're on 25. I guess at least he got the last hit there for 4.8, but rest of the camp goes to Happy. Scroll of the Beast
Problem is securing any kills now will be extremely difficult, I think.
Yeah.
So that level 5 might actually be... Oh, okay. So yeah, I think that's why he went for both, because he knows he's going to need like some of those like final kills to get level 5. And doing just one doesn't give you anything.
He still got the big mana potion. If he gets to level 5 and pops that potion, that's a lot of damage. That's what he's aiming for. Still 350 gold. And an Ankh. Also a little bit of security here. Stressful though.
So stressful now.
Ooh, counter nuke.
Greater mana use now.
Yeah,
now it's 05, but it's so weak, the warden. Oh my god, it's gonna die.
At least she was able to get some mana out before she died, but popping the potion and then the Ankh is triggered, that's a feels bad, man.
This looks so decent this looks good for Dise now. Oh, okay, he goes for the DK. DK has Hellstone though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice blocks with the... But
Happy? Dise.
Dise, yeah.
Zeppelin usage, love to see it. Warden goes in and is dead for the second time. Riju was too late and there might be a GG somewhere. Must be bugged here on these PTR maps as Happy in his first weekly cup final on patch 1.361 PTR. 2-0. This wasn't any closer than usually.
No, and it's the exact same moment. You can see where the game like went from maybe okayish to horrible.
Was it when you said this looks good for Dise now?
Well, I think actually at that point he had level 5 warden. Of course, if the DK didn't have Hellstone there, the DK would struggle, etc. So the fight, he also had food advantage at that point, but of course the hero nuke was powerful and killed the warden. But I think the main problem is that he got creep jacked while trying to get level 5 2 times in a row.